Hello, everybody. We are at Football Psyche. This is Coach Mad Mike.
It is large Sarge.
All right, we're going to come to you today, give you a nice video where we're going to be talking about a pretty interesting story. But before we get started here, I just kind of want to go over the NFL schedule. Today is the 5th of April. We are in team off-season conditioning programs for teams that have new head coaches. That started really, even though people were able to start on the 1st of April, this really started Tuesday on the 2nd of April. And then the remaining teams that have returning coaches, they're going to start mid-April. And, you know, even though that we have a few signings and some developments, right now, this time of year, we got a lot of mock drafts going on. But I think we got an interesting story for you tonight that you're going to talk about rugby players, large Sarge, that are having an impact and causing some buzz in the NFL.
Coach Mad Mike, who's your favorite rugby team?
I don't even have a freaking rugby team. I don't even know anything about rugby, man. You know anything about rugby? What's your favorite rugby team?
The Australian Redbacks.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you actually watch them?
When I was in Afghanistan, I learned about rugby because I was with a bunch of South Africans.
Where are you?
And a bunch of Aussies, and they taught me how to understand rugby.
All I know is it looks like you got to be a tough freaking dude in order to play rugby.
Psycho tough.
Like because they're extremely physical and they don't wear
pads. They're crazy.
Yeah, you're pretty crazy, dude. All right, and then we're gonna get to we mentioned this before, but Large Sarge and I are going to be at the 2024 NFL Draft.
Oh yeah!
We're going to be interviewing fans. We might try to get a fiver or so. We got it in the ticker, and we're even going to get back on the plane from Detroit, rush back to DC so we can catch the Commanders draft party.
Down on the waterfront.
Down on the waterfront. The National Harbor. It's going to be so much fun.
It's going to be insano in the braino.
Absolutely. So let's get into it right here. So one of the developments that I have for you here, and I'm very interested in this story. And it's very, very hard to get interested in a story about a left tackle getting a contract extension until you get behind what some of these players have been through and what they've done. And so I want to talk about Jordan Malaita. All right, he is a former Australian rugby player, 27 years old, who worked his way up from nothing, Large Sarge, from nothing, out of nowhere, to become the starting left tackle of the Philadelphia Eagles, and just signed a 3-year, $66 million extension.
I'm scared. I don't want to play against a rugby guy. They're tough.
Yeah.
They take elbows, spit out teeth. Those guys are tough.
Man, that's your kind of football player. You know it.
Oh, he's my old school football player. Absolutely.
Yeah, you like those kind of guys.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm looking at comment here. So this guy got a $66 million extension. 48 of that 66 is guaranteed.
Yep.
And on top, is it on top of the 66? He got 20 million?
No, it's out of the 66
that would be
million,
68 million if you added to the 48.
Yeah, but part of the signing bonus comes out of the guaranteed money. So it's not. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not like that. Right. It's not like, hey, oh man, that adds up to 68, and
because certain shit was about to lose
salary. Some of it's base salary, some of it's signing bonus, and out of the base salary and the signing bonus, some of that is guaranteed, which is $48 million guaranteed.
Large Sarge is about to lose his mind right there.
Yeah, I know, because you're math challenged anyway. So I got to keep it simple for you.
Oh boy!
I did take an accounting class with you one time. I'll leave that out of the conversation. I'm just saying. All right. But one of the things that I really like about this story, because I'm a Florida guy, right? And so in January 2018, this dude came over from playing rugby and went to the IMG Academy in Florida. If you don't know what the IMG Academy is,
tell us about it, Coach Mad Mike.
Yeah, it's a place where people go that are like elite level players for like advanced concentrated level training. Now, my daughter was invited to the IMG Academy as a soccer player, and she actually spent a camp with them was it last year or the year before last? I can't remember now. But anyway, she was invited there. And the amount of athletes across different sports at the IMG Academy, it is nationally known as the kind of academy to go to for sports.
So IMG covers all sports?
All sports. But
is this a Florida only thing?
Well, no, it's national wide, but it's located in Florida. And I don't know if they have other places at other stops. I mean, somebody could put in the comments or whatever way they do. But I know that the place in Florida is like the premier place where it seems like people go. And so I had a chance to go there because I took my daughter there for soccer. Incredible, right? It's incredible facility, very impressive. And so he started there. And in 3 months, he proved himself at the IMG Academy to the point where he became a 7th-round draft pick, declared for the NFL draft, no real experience except for what he did at the IMG Academy, and became a 7th-round draft pick by the Philadelphia Eagles in 2018.
So, Coach Mad Mike, the NFL scouting people go to this every year?
I think if there's some buzz and there's some things that they want to do, like scouts for all sports do know about the IMG Academy, and they do, and some of them will actually plan events there.
Is this the only player that's ever been drafted to the NFL from the IMG?
Say again?
Is this the only player that's ever been drafted to the NFL from the IMG?
I highly doubt it. I think that there's been others that have. I think that it's a training ground for people, for football players and stuff like that. So I think it's a good, like, it's very, very
Large Sarge likes
prestige and very, very well known.
Bring us rugby. Large Sarge eats it up.
But this guy came out of like really nowhere from rugby to do that. And here, all this years later, now he's 27, to be able to build up to become a starting left tackle for the Philadelphia Eagles and earn a 3-year, $66 million extension. This dude's an established pro.
Coach Mad Mike.
Yeah.
For $66 million a year, I want to see some stats.
I don't have no stats on this guy.
How big is this guy? What's he weigh? What's his size? What's his arm stretch worth?
Man, you could Google that stuff while I'm freaking moving on to the next part of the story. All right? Y'all Google that mess.
You know
man.
I'm crazy.
I can't do all the homework.
You know I'm crazy. Woo!
I can't do all the homework here. Man, look up a stat, dude. All right, anyway, the reason why I bring this up to you is because we have, I think, a half a dozen or so rugby guys right now currently in the NFL. And the reason why this is such a real kind of a buzz story, at least, because on social media, I picked up on Louis Rees-Zammit. Louis Rees-Zammit is a guy that's just kind of got impressive kind of reviews. He entered the NFL's International Player Pathway program. Right?
Oh, wait. They got another program, Coach Mad Mike, that the fans don't know about. Right. Please educate me.
Okay, so the International Player Pathway program is a way for, like, international athletes to come into the NFL. And what they do is they're like, okay, you don't really have any experience. You have minimal experience. Maybe you played European ball. Maybe you did this. Or maybe you've never even played football before in your life, but you're just a freakish athlete. They can put you into this 10-week program and teach you about football.
But Coach Mad Mike, what's the most important part that NFL teams love about this program?
What's that?
What's the most important part NFL teams love about this program?
Well, I think one of the most important things that they love about this program is that if you sign an international player, they do not count against your 53-man roster.
That's exactly right. No salary cap hit.
It's like free chicken, man.
Exactly.
And you can have these guys in your practice squad. They don't count against your practice squad numbers. You can have them on your 53-man roster. They don't count against your 53.
Coach Mad Mike, what's the most famous IPPP player you ever known?
I think it's the guy we just talked about, Jordan Malaita. He's an international rugby player from Australia.
Oh, so he was IPPP and then went IMG, and now he's in the NFL for you and me.
Yeah, but I think back in 2018, it was under a different name.
Okay.
But it's the same basic stuff. It's because back then, I think they just call it the international players thing.
I got you.
I don't know the whole name.
I got you.
They've morphed, but it's the same thing. It's a way to get international players from around the world to enter the NFL, but give them a way to enter where they can be developed because, they need they might be freakish athletes, but they need to develop and learn the game.
Large Sarge wants to do a segment here in the near future. Before we go to that draft, about all these guys on the IMG and the IPP and the NFL and the DCP.
Let's do it next week.
Done.
All right.
I want to know what we're dealing with and what kind of guys we're getting into the NFL.
Yeah. I mean,
back to Louis Rees-Zammit.
So this guy got buzz on social media because they're like, this guy's a freakish athlete, and I didn't find out what he sacrificed to leave the Wales rugby team because he was playing for Wales, but he apparently had guaranteed money in his contract, and he gave it all up because he's chasing a dream to play in the National Football League, but has no football experience, like none. And so he enters.
Let's be for real. Yes, he does.
Well, I guess
rugby plays with a football.
I'm talking about American
bigger and rounder, but they kick goals. They run the ball. They pass the ball. They tackle hardcore. They don't wear pads like the whip-ass NFL.
He's never worn a helmet before until this.
Exactly.
Shoulder pads.
This guy's tough.
Yeah, he's tough. He's tough for sure. So anyway, he gave up guaranteed money in his rugby contract to chase this dream for something that's not guaranteed. And he was signed by the Super Bowl champs, the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, there was a lot of teams that started looking at this guy when he was in the IPP program. There was like, oh, everybody was impressed. And there was more than a handful of teams looking at this dude. And from what I understand, there was a little bit of a bidding war, and the Chiefs said, we'll sign him to $880.
Oh, really?
$1,000 contract.
So the Chiefs bid up to get this guy.
Yeah, because $884 is not a league minimum contract.
I wonder what the head coach is thinking.
I think that they were just impressed by him, and they wanted to bring him in. Now,
I do not know a bad move that Andy Reid's ever made. Seriously.
Yeah. And
so if Andy Reid was on board with this, there's something to this kid.
There's something to this kid. So anyway, they all come together, and scouts come together, and they work this dude out, right? And they were like, how's this guy going to weigh in? And some people were saying he was like 220 pounds, that he might be able to be like a hybrid tight end. No, not so much. They did his height and weight. He weighed in at 194 pounds at 6'3", 23 years old. You
know what that makes him, Coach Mad Mike? In Large Sarge's book, you know what that makes him?
Slot receiver.
A premier slot receiver.
I know, because
he's got reach over the middle. He's got size to pound down a linebacker. This guy's going to be a monster on the midway.
And for those of you who don't know, Large Sarge loves slot receivers.
And I call him.
You call him, too.
I'm a wild man.
So, and I don't know, there's something about you like guys running over the middle who could possibly get clocked.
I think he's too heavy to be a wide receiver, one slot or two slot. I think this guy is a premier slot receiver. What, a 4'4", 340 yard and 6'3", and 194 pounds to smash into a linebacker? Oh, yeah.
So here's the funny part about it. He turned heads and impressed people because he ran a 4.43. The young kid, to tell you something about this kid, was actually disappointed in his performance.
Really?
He truly believed that he could run a 4.2, and he wanted to be the fastest time. He goes, his goal was
at 194 pounds, a 4.2. That's what he thought?
That's what he thought. He goes, I want to be, it's good to have goals, right? His ambition was, I want to be the fastest recruit in the draft class.
He's not far off.
Not far off. The fastest time was a 4.21, and he was shooting for a 4.2.
Yeah, 0.2 of a second. I'm not crying. I'm thinking Andy Reid's got something up his sleeves, on his pants,
potential
under his hat.
Now, even though that there's this huge social media buzz around this guy, I'm not necessarily going to say he's like a Malaita kind of guy where he's going to become some great NFL player. You never know about these guys because there's a lot of good talent that comes out per year. But what I will say is this, right? He's going to get a shot. And because of the international program being a free chicken kind of thing and not counting against your numbers, he's going to get probably a little bit more of a shot, get around some good people, really learn things out, get into preseason, and it's going to be a fun story. Like, Large Sarge, I want to follow this guy.
I'm in complete agreement with you, Coach Mad Mike. I'm in complete agreement. We need to be keying up this guy and featuring him on future episodes. We need to be watching him every game he plays if he gets to play.
Yeah, and maybe we'll do some highlights in preseason. But let's follow this guy because I just think it's a cool story of like, because let's face it, he's a long shot.
How old is he?
23.
Oh, and he's hungry?
And he's hungry.
I want to do a 4.2. He's that kind of hungry?
He's that kind of hungry.
Oh, boy. Andy Reid, I think.
He's never played football before, but I think they're going to try him out as a wide receiver. But I think it's going to be a fun thing to kind of watch because it's going to be like, you know how when we played Madden, they had the long shot version of it. Like for you fans who do that, you guys know what we're talking about, right? And it was and this is like our real life. We can all, as a community, as a fan base of Football Psycho, you know what? Let's take this dude on and let's follow him as our long shot this year.
Large stars, you got to go back and do some homework with the Wales rugby team. I got to see what this guy did on film. I'm going to go watch some rugby film and see how strong his legs are.
Go get us some film, man.
The rugby guys can catch, they can run, and they can scrum. And that all takes energy. If this guy's a little energy bunny like that, then Andy Reid pulled a rabbit out of his hat on this one.
And one thing I know about scrummers, man, they got some power in their legs and their core. Power.
Huge leg strength. Good upper body strength.
And a good solid core because scrumming, man, that's brutal.
Tough stuff.
That's brutal. So anyway, I think that this is going to be a really, really cool. Let's just all just declare it, right? Let this be our long shot that we track this year.
You know what? I like an underdog. I love a guy coming in.
You love underdogs.
You
love a guy that can potentially be a slot receiver. Oh my God! Like, how can we not do this, right? So anyway, when we do our show next time, Large Sarge, we will do a show on our long formatted version of that. Where we will talk about the international player program, right? And that pathway that they take to get into the NFL, because internationally, it will probably shock you if you're a football fan how many international players are given opportunities every year. There's a large number of players that get opportunities, and you don't hear about them because they're all long shots. A lot of time, you'll hear about the guy that ends up on your team that gets the practice squad. He's from Germany or something. You're just like,
just taking notes from the coach,
right? But
we're gonna watch this boy. I want to see him in preseason
because he's our international player who's a long shot, and it's just a cool story.
We're gonna watch this boy in preseason, see what he does.
We don't know what he's gonna do. We don't know if he's gonna make it or not. But it's gonna be fun to watch.
I'm putting my money on the rugby player.
Like what money?
Going to come into the NFL and show some of these overpaid, high-priced, highfalutin, I'm prettier than thou boys, what it's like to get down and dirty with no pads and put your face in someone else's face or in their butt and run that ball.
It might be interesting to watch because, I think some guys are getting soft. We're in there in those rookie classes where they're the COVID generation of like, man, I was sitting on my couch and doing a couple crunches and doing a couple push-ups, and that was my workout.
Coach Mad Mike, if this guy's any good, this is going to be a scary team next year because
Dude, you got to be good though. If you got scouts
Andy Reid and Mahomes want that, they want that triplet.
You know that if you're looking at an international player that has no football experience and multiple scouts from multiple NFL teams come and look at you, you're a freaking athlete, dude.
Wait a minute. Just think. Wait. Something's coming out of me. LT Rees-Zammit. LT Rees-Zammit. Where's Mahomes go? Holy crap.
You already got him on the field.
This could be dangerous.
You got him on the field already.
This could be life-changing.
Life-changing. This could be the three-piece solution.
Key to a triplet.
The triplet. This is the solution right here. This is the guarantee. Like, lock it down. They're going to be a three-peat.
Andy Reid pulled a rabbit out of his hat. Watch this. Watch this. I'm in agreement with you.
Dudes, hey, for the record, I can't be an honest coach if I think that's actually, like, it's going to be fun to watch, but let's be realistic. No, let's not be realistic. Okay, we're just going to follow this guy.
This kid's going to eat their lunch and show them where to puke it back up.
All right, Large Sarge, we got to wrap it up. This is Football Psyche, everybody. You're with Coach Mad Mike, and we're with Large Sarge, and we are going to see you guys next time. Peace out, guys.